This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Brewers Outlet, and Purdy Insurance. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
And a great Thursday to you. Great to be with you. The national semifinal game in the Fiesta Bowl, Miami and Ole Miss coming up tonight. There's a contrast between these two teams that's interesting. And the game will be in Glendale tonight, and it's going to be the Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe. I guess they throw Laura Rutledge in there too for these games. So yeah, that is the game tonight. We'll get to that in a few minutes. And then tomorrow it's Indiana and Miami. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. As for the game tonight, I mentioned it's a contrast in styles because I feel like Miami wants to shorten the game. They want to use Mark Fletcher, their running back, when he has not been the feature of what's going on. They have struggled. I'll give you an example. Louisville, he carried the ball 8 times in that game. 8 times. And that is going to be, that'll be important because physicality ruled the day in the quarterfinal games. Ohio State's physical, but Miami was more physical. Georgia is physical, but believe it or not, Ole Miss was more physical. Oregon was more physical in their game with Texas Tech by a decent margin. In Indiana, people probably wouldn't have believed until they saw it, but Indiana was exponentially more physical than Alabama. So you have teams that use physicality to get to this point. So that means you got 4 teams that are physical out there playing each other. So what are the differences between these two teams? Miami wants to shorten the game. Ole Miss wants to open up the game. Yes, Lacey's a really good running back. Trinidad Chambliss can run the ball. But can they control Bain up front? Bain was a pain for everybody who's played so far in the playoffs. Texas A&M, Ohio State, he's been outstanding. He has played like a first-round pick. So Miami has a formula. They don't mind if the score is kept down. Yes, they have Carson Beck, who's very good. Is he a great quarterback on the college level? No, but he's very good. He's very, very good. And the matchup's a really good one tonight. There's also, of course, the circus still surrounding Ole Miss because of Lane Kiffin. Kiffin's made a lot of money by this run. Believe it or not, LSU is actually paying him for Ole Miss playoff wins. He got, I think, $500,000 the last time through. It's not bad. Pretty good. And but I think the ability to run the ball on each side, if Lacey gets going, Ole Miss benefits. If Fletcher gets going, Miami benefits. And I think it should be a well-contested game tonight. I mean, it should be a really good game. I think it's the same story. It's going to be a really good game tomorrow, Oregon and Indiana. I give Indiana credit. I mean, look, I thought they would beat Alabama. I thought they beat Alabama by 2 touchdowns. I really did. But did I see that score? No. And I absolutely thought that Oregon would pound Texas Tech. Again, the big difference is the quarterbacks. And we'll talk more about that one tomorrow. Meanwhile, the transfer portal is going on. And with that, the changeover in the roster has been continuing. Matthew Outen is the latest to put his name into the portal. Okay. To his credit, I think he's decent speed, okay route runner. And still had a lot to learn out there, but I thought he had nice potential. I mentioned this before about the portal with Penn State. When people have brought up the Iowa State component with the number of players from Iowa State coming here, this is all about trust. It's all about that. The players that are coming here are the players that they looked at and said, hey, we've coached them. We know their personalities. We know how they react in certain situations. Players they trust. They're not just willy-nilly just picking off the entire Iowa State team. They're picking off the guys they want, that they know will perform for them. That's important in all this. And then they've filled in around them. Because, look, he still is a big believer in recruiting 3 to 5 year players. He's a big believer in that. But in this circumstance, he can't do it. And when you look at the holdovers in combination with this, he's done extremely well. Among the players in the portal, he has landed a top 10 quarterback, a top 15 receiver, 2 top 15 tight ends to go with one he already has, and a really good one in Rappleyea, a top 15 running back, and he's already got Quentin Martin on the Antike Hayes here, a top 5 linebacker, oh, by the way, already has Tony Rojas here, a top 10 safety. I mean, that's what he's landed. Trust is important. That's why Curt Cignetti brought so many players in from James Madison. Those were players he trusted. And guess what? I can see why they trusted him. Of the 13 he brought in, 12 played. And 8, I think, are really, really good. Just because they were James Madison doesn't mean anything. There were players he could trust. He knew what they could do and what they couldn't do. It's the same story of what Matt Campbell's doing here. They're bringing in guys that they know what they can do. As I talk all the time, part of coaching is taking advantage of your strengths and coaching around your deficiencies. Well, they know what the deficiencies are. They know that. They got that part. And he's got a lot of guys staying. I mentioned Rappelier. I mentioned Rojas. What about Donko? He's staying. Cooper Cousins. Davian Collins, Darius Dixon, Zion Tracy. Okay? Quentin Martin, I mentioned. Then you've got, not just Cooper Cousins and Donko up front, a guy like Dom Rulli, but Malachi Goodman staying. Garrett Sexton staying. I mean, Owen Alicini. I mean, they've got some really, really good players that stayed. Have there been a lot of names in the transfer portal? Yeah. But I'd say I'm up to 19 guys that I thought could be part of the 50 that left. They've replaced those guys. In the current atmosphere, this is the smartest way to do it, and they're doing it. Now, is there going to be a learning curve for us? Yep. It's going to be a learning curve. But that's fine with me. I could care less about that. I'll figure it out in due time. Somebody did ask me about the running back coach. To my knowledge, that's the one spot that has not been hired yet. That's the one spot, to my knowledge, that has not been hired. Everything else has. I think they've got everything else. But, yeah, Matt Outen entered the transfer portal at wide receiver. Okay. It's fine. So, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More in a moment. Opening half hour brought to you by Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors, Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. Here on News Radio 1070 WKOK.
Hi, this is Season. For over 100 years, the Purdy Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses of the greater Susquehanna Valley and beyond. With the experience of our trained and knowledgeable staff, you can rest assured that your needs will be evaluated and met by some of the industry's best representatives. No matter what your insurance needs are, call Purdy Insurance today at 570-286-5855. Visit our website at purdyinsurance.com or check us out on Facebook to see what we can do for you.
Hi folks, Art Thomas here with today's history lesson. Over the past 50 years, MECTEC Incorporated has helped the Susquehanna Valley grow into the place we all love to live, work, and play in. Our body of survey work includes as-built utility plans for the Susquehanna Valley Mall from its inception through all its expansions, boundary survey of the Monroe Marketplace Shopping Center, and subdivision and municipal plan approval coordination for the Hummel Station Power Plant. Additionally, we regularly complete subdivisions and topographic surveys, residential boundary surveys, and commercial ALTA surveys. We provide construction stakeout services and complete elevation certificates for property owners in the floodplain. Scott Schambach, professional land surveyor, a MECTEC employee since 1998, has been managing all land survey work at MECTEC since 2018. Need a survey? Give Scott a call today, and he will be glad to help you with your surveying project. MECTEC Incorporated, building on a solid foundation.
The 2026 Wedding Expo is almost here at the venue at Liberty Valley, and you could win big. Enjoy wedding fashions from Bridals by Jay, giveaways from amazing local vendors, a day of beauty from Rituals Beauty Bar, and a limousine experience from Susquehanna Valley Limousine. Plus, one lucky couple will win a free 3-hour room rental at the venue at Liberty Valley. Valued at $650, it's perfect for a bridal shower, a baby shower, or even your wedding day. The 2026 Wedding Expo at the venue at Liberty Valley, January 18th.
The Papa John's pizza makers are out here trying to break their own records. Papa John's largest pizza ever just dropped. The Grand Papa. You could even call it the GOAT. The grandest pizza of all time. It's got hand-stretched original dough made with 6 simple ingredients. Our special Italian seasoning, a 3-cheese blend, and new big deli pepperoni. Shout out to all the Papa John's pizza makers making the Grand Papa happen. And to all you listening, don't wait. Go grand with the Grand Papa. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Call Papa John's in Sealands Grove at 570-743-7474.
High school sports aren't just games here. They're traditions that bring us together. Parents in the stands, kids on the field, and the whole community cheering side by side. At Service Electric, we're more than just your internet, TV, and phone provider. We're your neighbors, too. That's why we're proud to support our local schools and the student athletes who inspire us on the field and in the classroom. Service Electric. Trusted service. Familiar faces.
Excuse me. Welcome, everyone, back to the show. Finally get to the games, but college football is such a dramatic off-the-field mess right now. I mean, when you're going into a playoff game and you're not sure who your coaches are, and you finally find out that your offensive coordinator and your wide receiver coach are going to be part of the game, but your tight end coach and your running back coach are out. Man, you're in a playoff game. This stuff should not be happening. It's a playoff game. And this is what's happening. I guess the people out in Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, I mean, the Miami fans, I guess, have been showing up, and they're all like gung-ho and the whole thing. The Ole Miss fans are showing up and just disgruntled about the whole situation. They're thrilled with the kids. They're thrilled with the job Pete Golding's doing. But the drama surrounding the program is just too much. And I think people always wondered, and will continue to wonder, whether a first overall pick in the draft would opt out of a playoff game. That hasn't happened yet. I never really thought about a coach opting out of it, but he did. I'm changing jobs. Okay. Look at the but it's a mess. You got a guy signing a contract one week, transfer portal the next week. Really? You signed the contract. Doesn't that bind both sides? I'm sure there's a buyout. But doesn't that bind both sides to the agreement? And Pete Thamel is saying that the money DeMond Williams signed for According to Pete Thamel, it's like in the $4 to $5 million range. And they didn't exactly go out and give him tip change and wish him nothing but the best. And the sport's a mess. Yet people are watching it in droves. This has been a very interesting case, which I'll get to in the next half hour, of there's a certain segment that wants to promote a narrative, and the narrative keeps getting blown up. I realize that the narratives are out there, that there are opinions, but they're trying to really push it. They're really pushing and push it, and people aren't buying narratives.